Matt Lenihan for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Storm. Delighted to be joined by one of the best prospects in this country at the minute in Nico Leivars. Nico, talk to me, how's things?
Oh, good, thanks, mate. Thanks for coming and having a chat. Yeah, obviously busy few week ahead. Me, Dalton, Junaid, all on the July card in Sheffield, so we've been busy training together for that. Sunny out in a few weeks as well, so the gym's booming at the minute.
Yeah, it's a very vibrant gym. Obviously, Grant Smith's got a terrific stable of fighters here. I know Thomas Osomba went away and won his European. I know Sunny was particularly proud of that. You know, they've worked closely together, and yeah, it's a good gym at the minute. How have you found your development since obviously we last spoke? You went out, I think, and got a win in November time. You're now back on the winning run. How do you feel? How do you feel you're developing?
Yeah, we've got a good mix of lads here where, we've got the experienced lads like Sunny and Dalton who are at the top headlining shows, and then you've got the likes of me and Junaid who are almost at the bottom but working our way up. And we can only look up to them lads, and we learn off them in the gym, and when we train together we're learning off each other, watching each other spar. It's a really good environment to be in, just to develop as a fighter, and also like to spur each other on. Like with Thomas, I regularly spar Thomas as a sparring partner, so to see him go over there and win a European title was brilliant for all of us.
It seems good crack in this gym. Obviously, everyone seems to be bantering all the time. Who's the biggest sort of joker in this gym? And I've got a feeling I know it could be just from being in here a couple of times. But go on, who is it?
Nah, biggest joker is Junaid by far, by far.
But it's all good. It's all good nature. But you all seem to have each other's back in this gym.
Definitely, it's us against them, no matter what. Like, if one of us are fighting, we're all there to support, we're all behind them. But we push each other in the gym, but we have a laugh as well. We enjoy our time here and we enjoy being together. Even not in training, we'll hang around for a few hours, see each other, watch each other train. It's all part of the fun of being a part of the team.
Now, you're fighting against an unbeaten kid on this card, and Alberto Motos, 3-0. Is that a bit of a carrot for you, going for someone who's undefeated? Because obviously we see a lot of fighters when they're coming up, youngsters, obviously young yourself, you fight guys with maybe not a flattering record, because you're learning your trade, you need to get your feet wet, work out the occasion, but you're fighting an undefeated guy who'll be coming in there, coming in to win.
I don't see the point in staying around fighting these journeymen for too long, because with all due respect, I put a lot of hard work in on the amateurs, and a good amateur pedigree, boxing for Team GB, box for Italy as a junior and a youth. Like, I served my apprenticeship there, and I want to progress and get better, and I don't want to go stale. And I think having a push now, I went straight into a 6-rounder after my debut, hoping to go for an 8 after this one, and to take a step up against an unbeaten prospect like myself, who is coming to win. I think that's just part of the progression, and I don't see holding that off, because I've got full confidence in my ability. My team have, we relish having a prospect instead of a journeyman, and bring it on.
How much of that is a case of you obviously back your ability? You just mentioned your amateur background, which everybody knows it. But is there a sort of a way in which Grant and your team have to talk, and maybe sometimes look, we have to hold you back just because we need you to get the season in? Is there always a bit of a back and forth about that? Because like you just said there, I want to bounce into any rounder after this, I want to do this. Do you have to have them discussions? No,
because it's all built on what I'm doing in the gym. It's confidence in the ability, because I'm showing it week in, week out. I'm sparring world-class opponents in sparring. Heavier lads, older lads, more experience, doing well, proving it in the training that I'm adapting well to the pros, more than fit enough, with the pacing of the rounds. We know I can do it because I'm doing it in the gym, so it's only the next step to take it into a fight, which is why we are so confident in it. And we sit down regularly and plan out the action plan for the next 6, 8, 12 months, and we're all confident in the pace I'm at and how far I can go.
Obviously, Lee and speaks very highly of you. People in this gym always speak very highly of you. How far do you believe you are off looking at a title of some sort? Do you believe next couple of fights, more activity in your own mind? I know you'll feel, look, I'm ready now, let's just have a roll, but what do you think?
Starting next year, I'll be going for a title, I reckon. Like I said, get an 8-rounder in after I do the business in July 1st here. work my way up and take it all in my stride, but I don't see no reason by next year with a title.
Your other gym mates, they've obviously got some big fights. Obviously, Junaid's he's sort of in a similar position to you, where you're building up your body of work on the back of obviously Dalton's cards, on Sunny's cards, and things like that. What do you make of how Dalton's now taking this mantle of being the next one in Sheffield? We've seen obviously Prince Nats, your Kell Brooks. He's next in line. What do you make of Dalton and how he's sort of handling the occasion of being the man in Sheffield now? Because it's big shoes to fill.
Big shoes to fill, but I think he's done brilliant. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, this time last year he weren't even British champion, and now he's fighting to win it outright, which is mad. Like, you're talking about a throwback fighter, boxing regularly, taking anyone as they come. Dalton's been out as if he's a prospect. The amount of times he's been out, he's here, there, everywhere, defending the title, and you can't knock that. And the way he's just took it in his stride is you can only look up to that as a young kid coming through. And I think that's with me and Junaid, especially, sharing a show with him and being on his undercard, it makes it even better for us, because we've seen Dalton now get the fruits of his hard labour and get up, and he deserves it.
Sunny Edwards as well, many people's eyes, #1 flyweight in world boxing, seems quite avoided as well from the outside looking in. I know he'll tell us all that when he's here later. What do you make of him? Obviously, he's with Matchroom now. He's going to get that opportunity on DAZN next week, June 10th. It's a very game opponent, but that's going to be for him that moment where if he gets past this one, he looks at a big fight. You think he gets a big fight, it's unifies, goes on to become undisputed?
Definitely. I think, that's what Sonny's been missing. He's got the ability, he's got the skill, he just needs a dance partner. And I think, going with DAZN and Matchroom now, it's opened the gate to your Bam, your Martinez, where the big fights have been made to happen. So hopefully it's another hurdle out of the way.
I'm sure you've had a move around with him in here a time or two. Yeah. How much of a nightmare, and I'm sure you are for him, by the way, but for a young guy coming in, how much of a nightmare is he to just land clean on or do that? He's supremely talented. I sometimes feel like maybe he doesn't get the credit that he deserves, but for someone who's sparring him and all these boys in here who are working with him, how good is he?
He's unbelievable, and I can only take it in like a sponge. I was one of his main sparring partners for the last 3 or 4 fights now, and it's brilliant for me to look up to someone in the gym where we'll spar, I'll pick his brains after and ask questions and learn from him what I can, because he's just got so many tools in the toolbox. And I think quite often people probably don't appreciate how good he is because they don't appreciate the things he does, because they can't notice what he does, because he's that good at what he's doing. They can't pick it up, and it's only once you've been in there sparring regularly and trying to do what he does and pick up off him, you realise how good of a boxer he is.
Absolutely. Just before you go, I've got to get a couple of predictions off you. I think last time we spoke, we were always talking about what fights would you like to see made. One of them got made, Spence Crawford. Put your opinion down now. Who wins? Terence Crawford, Errol Spence, Las Vegas.
Crawford split.
Ooh, close to that.
Squeaky bum time. I don't see either getting stopped, and I think it'll be a tight decision, but I think Crawford will get it.
We've got Josh Taylor next week going against Teofimo Lopez, which is going to be an exciting build-up to that fight. I know they're both lively characters. Who do you see winning that? Josh also coming back from that Jack Catterall, off the back of a Jack Catterall victory, which many people have talked about. And Teofimo's he's up and down at the minute, but he's coming off the back of a couple of wins. What do you make of that fight?
I reckon Taylor does him.
You reckon points or stoppage?
Points, but I think it'll be a one-sided points.
Okay, Nico, look, you got a message to all your fans. By the way, your huge support that comes out every time I've seen you fight. These fights are normally on quite early, but you can hear your people in great voice. Have you got a message for all these?
Just thank you very much. They've supported me since I was an amateur. They're coming out in numbers every time now, and I just appreciate everyone spending the time and money to come and watch me box wherever. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Look, everyone get behind him. He's a good kid, and obviously he's fighting on Dalton's next card, so it's going to be a good show. Appreciate you talking to Boxing Social. Catch up again soon.
Thank you very much, mate. Thank you.